Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassil and welcome back to the 12 Games of Christmas. This is a series we do each year here in the Dice Tower. And man, folks, there's so many great things to talk about. And today we're talking about stocking stuffers. The kind of game that's a small game. It doesn't necessarily have to fit in a stocking, but could fit in a stocking, or a little small gift you want to give to someone. Games. These are great little games that we think are worth your while. We try to pick games that you can go out and buy right now. One of the places to get these games, Game Nerds, we love them. We think they're a great place to buy games at. You should check them out there. This video is sponsored by the World Series of Board Gaming. And I want to say, first of all, if you go back and watch our family 12 Games of Christmas, we're running an amazing contest there. You definitely want to check that out, where you can win a really big prize and go there. But it's fun to go there. And one of the reasons to go there is something you can fill someone's stocking with, and that's money. Money. You realize that the winner of the World Series of Board Gaming gets $25,000. Second place gets $10,000. Third gets $5,000. And fourth place gets $1,000. And that's not it. Each person who wins one of their 16 different events, and there's events that range from simple games like Ticket to Ride all the way up to more complex games like Great Western Trail and things like that. Ark Nova's being added this year. And so you get these really beautiful rings, and the rings themselves are worth $2,000. There's also a bracelet that's $5,000 that the winner gets. And then there's all kinds of door prizes. Last year I saw them hand out 2 tables, gaming tables to folks. They were constantly giving out prizes all over the place. So if you're looking to win stuff at Vegas and not have to do it at the machines, the World Series of Board Gaming is a great place to check out. And I'm going to be there on the side having all kinds of fun. I hope to see you there. But let's talk about these stocking stuffer games. So here are 12 great games to give people as a stocking stuffer.
Hello, and let's kick off this category of stocking stuffers with a really tiny game, about as small as you can get and it still be a game. Kringle Caper is an 18-card puzzle game. This game also has a website that you're going to visit in order to get clues as you progress through. You are at the North Pole, you're trying to figure out who stole Santa's Christmas cookies. You're going to turn the first card over, it's going to lay out a story for you and present you a pretty simple puzzle and challenge. You're going to take your answer to that, type it in the website. If it's right, the website will instruct you the next cards to pull. What I think this really does is that the puzzles build really well, and every puzzle in this 18 cards feels unique. But it's also not linear, and I loved that about this. I loved that you don't just go through the cards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 18. You're going to see a lot of self-referential puzzles where answers before mattered, where you really have to use your creative thinking in order to figure out what you're even looking for in the puzzle. The website has a great hint system. It's also keeping track of time, so ultimately you get a score at the end. And I think that it's just it's a very versatile thing that you can then use again, and it's a lot of fun to be had amongst all the ages. When I was playing it at one point, the youngest player that was there with us, who was under 10, made some cultural reference that kind of solved the puzzle for us. So it was just, everyone can participate in this puzzle, but yet it's also challenging enough to be engaging. So to kick it off here, starting with a great one, Kringle Caper.
Do you like trick-taking games, but you're tired of the same old stuff? Well, Cat in the Box is a trick-taking game, but it has so much different stuff going on that it's great. So basically, you're doing the basic things of, maybe betting on how many tricks that you have. You need to follow suit and all that stuff. But what's special and different about it is that there are no assigned colors to the cards. All of your cards are black. They just have numbers on them. You determine what color your card is and what colors you have in your hand based on a little board in front of you. It's amazing. You can totally create paradoxes and you can follow suit, and then suddenly you could have a whole handful of trump cards. Anything like that can happen. It just blows my mind that there's different strategy out there. It is not your run-of-the-mill trick-taking game. It's really fun. It's great to learn and absolutely love it. So what a great stocking stuffer. Cat in the Box.
Illusion, the next card game I'm talking about here, is the kind of game you barely have to explain. You need to put out cards in an ascending or descending order based on the percentage of some color showing up on that card. And these will have all sorts of intricate and interesting shapes and colors, very eye-catching, very bombastic looking cards. But that's it. That's the game. So the idea is we are going with blue. I play a card that looks to be like blue is the predominant color on that card. You need to play one after that. Is there more or less blue on that one? That denotes whether it should go on one side or the other. That's the game. But of course, knowing where to put a card once there are a few out there starts to get really tricky. And figuring out if I can look at an image where things are not geometrically organized and to decide there's not that much in there. Blue is about, 18%, maybe 15, maybe it's 20, maybe it's a fifth blue. That's the fun. And again, incredibly fast-paced. This is a game that just about anybody can get into very quickly, throw it down on the table, start playing in 2 minutes, be done in 10 or 15, and have a great quick laugh. So that is Illusion.
My next stocking stuffer here is for a Star Wars fan. If you have someone that is a fan of Star Wars and you want a stocking stuffer that will fit in a small box, this is Love Letter Jabba's Palace. So Jabba's Palace is basically, it takes Love Letter, which is this game of just playing cards out and trying to guess what's in your opponent's hands and trying to like knock them out of the game. Super quick, super fast game, and it adds it into the Star Wars universe. So there's Rebels versus the Hutts, and you're basically trying to figure out how to outmaneuver your opponents, but it's super fast playing and a lot of fun. I've had a blast playing this with a lot of people that wouldn't even consider themselves board gamers, and this is just a very accessible game, and it has that Star Wars theme on it. You're just drawing one card, playing one card, super simple, trying to outthink your opponents. It's a lot of fun, and that is Star Wars Jabba's Palace.
Next up is Bag of Chips, and if you put this in a stocking, you better make sure nobody pulls it out and thinks it's the real thing. So in this game, you have a cute little bag and it's full of chips. Everyone's given a few cards, and they look at those cards and decide which ones that they think will succeed or happen at the end of the game. So basically you're betting by playing these different cards and saying, hey, I think there'll be more purple than yellow at the end of the game. As we do so, we pull out a few chips, we play some betting cards, we pull out some more chips, and you're essentially pushing your luck to see, hey, am I going to meet my bets? Are they going to happen? Or am I going to bust? Or is it just not going to happen at all? And man, I played that card and I don't get any points. But it's super fun. It's very simple. It doesn't take up a lot of space. And it's a perfect shape and size for a stocking.
Our next stocking stuffer game here is going to be Herbaceous Pocket. Now, Herbaceous Pocket, I think what is really great about this is they have taken the regular Herbaceous, which is already a pretty small game, and they've been able to put it in an even smaller package, but maintain that full game play. The cards are a little bit smaller, but the full game and the rules and the scoring, it's all the same. So you get a full game in this little bitty package, which makes it great for traveling or great for small playing spaces or just really quick and comfortable getting to the table. I played this game on a cardboard box sitting in my bed because it's just so small and compact. In this one, it's absolutely gorgeous as well as you're collecting sets of herbs and trying to push your luck to decide when is the optimal time to pot that plant for your score optimization, but also kind of pushing your luck because you have that communal pot out front and you don't want the card that you really want to get taken. So you're trying to balance all these things. It's absolutely beautiful to look at. And it's a tiny package with a small footprint on the table as well. It's going to be Herbaceous Pocket.
All right, next up we've got Longboard, which is a lovely little small box card game about surfing. Well, about surfboards more specifically. The idea is that you are going to be playing cards that have number values on them, and you're trying to play cards in kind of consecutive runs to create the longest surfboards, the most impressive surfboards. And it really is a relatively simple card game, but like the best simple card games, there's still some really fun decisions. It looks lovely, has great art, nice table presence, but you could teach this game to just about anybody. It's going to feel familiar because it has kind of just the numerical values on cards, but some really neat little crunchy decisions. That is Longboard.
For those who are big superhero and especially Marvel fans, this next one, Marvel Remix, is a slam dunk. It's a game covered in fantastic, blistering artwork from the comic book pages of Marvel. And in it, you are building up a hand of heroics. You are building up the perfect team by drawing a card, looking at all the combinations you've got in your hand, and then throwing a card out. You will always have the same hand size, but you're looking for things that match in between those. Oh, the Hulk really wants these strength symbols because he's going to score based off of them. And this other character gives me two of those. Great, there is something I can work with. you are looking for these combinations. Some things will work against you, so you got to decide, which thing do I go for? Do I let that card go? Your opponents could draw those cards you are leaving in the center of the table after you discard them. So you also have to be careful you don't give someone a fantastic combo off of something you didn't want. It's clever, it's interesting, it's incredibly fast-paced. You are just playing a few rounds and then see how well you did. And it gives you a nice Marvel flavor with locations from the comics, characters, of course, and even a villain deck, which you must have at least one villain in your hand at the end, so you have someone to go up against. They'll be part of your scoring hand. So that is Marvel Remix. Wonderful game. I really enjoy this one, and it is just fast-paced.
Next station, London. This is a fantastic roll and write or flip and write type of game where everyone has a sheet of paper in front of them representing a map of London with lots of different subway stations that you could stop at, represented by squares or circles or triangles. And in the center of the table, someone will flip over a card with one of those symbols, circle, square, triangle, something. You start from your color's starting station and have to draw a line out to one of those particular types of stops. So where you are to triangle. Once everyone's done, you flip over another card, square. Everyone has to draw from one of the ends of their subway route now out to a square. You're trying to have a lot of stops in the same district, or you're trying to get to lots of different districts, or ideally a little bit of both for a good multiplying score. There's different objectives you can try to complete. And the other nice little hook of the game is that everyone is playing one different subway station color at a time. Once that round is done, you pass your colored pencil to the next person, you get a new color, and start working on the same map again, but with a different color. So everyone is kind of doing a little bit of the different while doing a little bit of the same. It's a very, very neat game. It feels so different from any of these other flip and write or roll and write games that I've played. It feels very free form, and it looks like a nice subway map when you're done with it. Highly recommend. Next station, London.
All right, next up we have Scout, which is a really small little card game in a very small box that has really been kind of making a splash in modern gaming here over the last year or so. Scout has a lot of things that may feel familiar to people that have played traditional card games like Rummy. You're kind of playing out sets, but it has some really unique twists as well, whereas each card is going to have two numerical values, and the one that is going to be facing up is going to be the one that you are using. However, at one point in your turn, you can flip the cards around so that you're using the other numbers. The other thing is that you're restricted. In many card games that have numbers on them, you could just move them around in your hand to get them to however you want. In Scout, you have a fixed position, and that fixed positioning is what really leads to some of the great crunchy decisions in a very simple game, but a lot of fun. Scout has been very popular over the last couple of years, and there's a good reason why. It's a really clever little game.
All right, this next game here has gotten a lot of play in my house over the last month or two, and that's going to be Similo. Similo has a lot of different themes, so you can really customize the deck that you get for the person you're buying it for. So it's a stocking stuffer, but still kind of has a little bit of that personal touch. In my house, the Harry Potter has been a huge hit. This is a Guess Who style game where you're all on the same team and one person is going to be the clue giver. The clue giver can't say anything, and they are going to lay out a card, and based on the orientation that they play it, they're letting you know that that card they played is either similar or not similar, very different from the person they're ultimately trying to get you to guess. The other players have to try to interpret what they meant based on how they played that card and then eliminate some of their options. If they ever eliminate the person they're trying to guess, obviously they lose, but through the course of 4 rounds, you'll dwindle it down to one choice where you say, we think it is this person. So it's win or lose together. You really have to kind of try to get in the mind of each person and figure out, are they talking about color? Is it because it's the same color? Is it the same personality? Is it the same species? What are they trying to tell me with these clues they've given? So really interesting discussion, very simple gameplay, small footprint, and can be customized depending on the interest of the person you're buying it for. So we recommend Similo.
And our final game is a ridiculous game called Cheating Moths. Now, in Cheating Moths, I would say the game that I could most closely compare it to initially would be Uno. You are playing number cards in the middle of the table, except if there's a 3 out there, you can play one that's 1 lower than it, a 2, or one that's 1 higher than it, a 4. Very simple. A few cards let a few wild and crazy things happen, but here's the deal. In this game, there are these cards, moth cards in your deck, And the only way to get rid of them out of your hand is by cheating. I'm not kidding. You literally cheat. You can throw them over your shoulder, drop them on the floor, stick them in your pocket, put them underneath your hat. Whatever you can do, as long as one player who is the guard bug, that player is trying to watch. If he catches you cheating, then you become the guard bug, and you also get to draw more cards in your hand. This game is insanely fun. You have to know what you're getting into, obviously. You're getting in there to see everybody cheat and go crazy all over the table. But it is so much just entertaining. You know, there's always that Uncle Bob who likes to cheat at games. Well, here's a game where you can cheat right back and along with him, and he'll have a great time and you'll have a great time. I love this game. Me and my family have laughed and laughed and laughed at the silliness, the things that people try to get away with as you try to get rid of a card and everyone sees you do it, or that one sweet old grandma who somehow got rid of all her cards and no one ever noticed. It's silly fun, fun for the whole family. That's Cheating Moths. That also brings us to the end of this list. So those are 12 great games for stocking stuffers. We hope that you check them out and get them for your friends and families, or perhaps yourself. Thanks again to our sponsors, World's Area Board Gaming, for sponsoring this video. Check them out in the link in the description below. And don't forget I mentioned that big contest over in our 12 family games of Christmas. But that's it for this video. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell, and this has been the 12 Games of Christmas Stocking Stuffers on the Dice Tower.